Hi, everyone. This is Kari with Cheryl and Colleen, part of the Consistently Creative crew. And we're here tonight kind of doing a 2-for-1 evening. Since we didn't meet last week, we didn't have the opportunity to put together this Life Simple page kit number 2. So we're going to do that first this evening. And then we're going to stop the recording. We're going to shift all of our paper around, and then we are going to do the project recipe. So that will be a second recording. So if you're watching this first recording and want to catch the project recipe, it will be uploaded as a second recording. So just to remind you, each month, Creative Memories is putting out this simple page kit, and each month has a different theme, and it comes with 3 sheets of paper, 1 sheet of stickers, and some instructions. And one of the sheets of paper has a cutting guide on the back. The other 2 sheets of paper are designed to be the base pages for your layout, and they're double-sided, so you can pick and choose. And this is the example of their finished layout that they had on the packing. So we kind of know what we're looking for. There are 6 photos on this layout, the way it's designed, but you obviously can do something different with it. And as I was working on this layout and doing it digitally, which I'm planning on recording separately, I went ahead and provided some information on the dimensions of the designer paper that is cut. So we have that. This handout was provided on the Consistently Creative Croppers Facebook group. It was also emailed to everybody who registered for tonight's Zoom session. So this is the cutting guide for that designer paper. And the 2 base papers that were being used actually had a pattern on it. And while these are just solid blocks of color, I'll show you what the papers look like in just a moment. This was just a guide for anybody who was going to be having to cut some pieces of paper or maybe using up some scraps. This would be a great layout to use up some scraps if you didn't purchase this page kit, because there's 4 1-inch strips. There are 2 3.5-inch strips, and there are 2 3-inch strips. So you could very easily use up some of your scraps that you have left over from some other kits. And then once you put it all together, I included on our instructions what it's going to look like in the end with the pieces of paper that were cut, as well as the photos that were placed on top of all those pieces of paper. And 2 of our pieces of paper ended up having a flag cut into them. So we'll do that tonight, but this is just an overview of what the instructions were looking like, and this is what we're going to do. So I'm going to go ahead, stop sharing, and switch over to my tabletop. Okay, can everybody see my tabletop? Just give me a nod or a thumbs up. Okay, yeah, good. Okay. So this is the physical kit. So again, there is a set of stickers. There are 2 double-sided sheets of paper, and you can see they gave us one that just had a tone-on-tone light pattern with some hearts. And then these other 2 sheets are actually the ones that were used in their sample layout, and they have a pattern on them and a nice design. And then this one, this is the other sheet of paper, and it has a cutting guide on the back. So we're going to follow this cutting guide, cut pieces 1 through 8, do the banner cuts here on the pieces 7 and 8, and then assemble the layout. So does anybody have any questions? Okay, if not, we're going to go ahead and get started. And I believe I remember from last month, we found it easiest to look at the back, decide where we were going to cut, and then turn it over and actually do the cut, because you see where this line is between 1 and 3. If we lined it up on the back, we could actually not end up right and getting a nice clean edge between the red and the pink part of our paper. So I know that this part is going to be 4 inches wide, so I'm going to line it up, but I'm also going to take a quick look on my trimmer and make certain I'm lined up with the guides that are on my trimmer. And then my phone is going to fall over. All right. I think I'm back. A lot of technical difficulties tonight on my end. My internet went out as we were starting. Okay. I think I'm back. All right. So the first cut is at 4 inches. And again, I'm lining up my paper with the guide. Okay, so I've got a 4-inch piece there. The next piece is also 4 inches, which I know from having done my measurement on the back. Okay, now this piece, if I turn it over, I can see these banners are going to coincide with this banner because I'm going to end up cutting it like this. So when I turn it over to cut piece 5, which I can see is also 4 inches, I want to be up in the nice pink part, and I'm going to save the printed banner for the last cut. So this one's 4 inches. The next one's 4 inches. And then it's 2 inches. And I'm left with the last 2 pieces. So then I have 2 banner cuts to do. And as always, there are a myriad of ways to do this. So sometimes we like to we can actually follow the cutting guide on here. My scissors and do this. And to make it nice and even, you can fold the piece of paper in half, trim it, and just snip it like that. And then you've got a nice little banner cut like that. You can also line it up on your trimmer with the point of the paper at the dotted line on your trimmer guide. And then you're going to line up the white line on your cutting blade holder with the tip point that sticks out from the paper and cut. And then flip it over and do the same thing, line up the point on the trimmer. And again, you get a nice piece. But they're not identical if you do them 2 different ways. They might be slightly different. But for the sake of demonstration purposes, I wanted to show you both of those. All right, that was all the cutting. That was really easy. So now for the assembly of the paper kit. Oh, no, I'm wrong. I've still got to cut these 2 4-inch pieces in half. So these first 2 pieces that we cut that were just 6 inches long, or 12 inches long, 4 inches wide, we're going to cut these in half at 6 inches and 6 inches because they're just going to be photo mats. Now we're done. All right, so the way they have their sample is to line everything up like this. And they have this one down here and this one up here. And that is pretty much the layout. So since it is Valentine's today, I do not have any photos for this layout, but it's a great kit. I think it's going to be nice and easy to use. And again, you could flip it over and use the other sides of this paper, which is not as, does not have as much going on. So you may decide which one you want to use or if you want to use the other sides. But I do like the one that they selected. And that is This Life Simple Page Kit. Okay. Does anyone have any questions? All right. I think I'm going to just stop this recording and start. We'll be able to start the new one, and hope you enjoyed this fast and easy, This Life Simple page kit.